Hello and welcome to the Kamla Show. We bring you interviews and conversations with technologists, entrepreneurs, filmmakers and other newsmakers from in and around the San Francisco Bay Area. My guest today is Kumar Malavalli. He is an entrepreneur, technologist and a philanthropist. He is the co-founder of a startup called InMage, which is 10 years old. And prior to that, he co-founded Brocade, which went public. And that's where Kumar made his money. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So how did it feel to go from being a salary man to becoming an entrepreneur and then somebody with a lot of wealth?
You know, it's felt good, not because you made money, because what you were passionate about and what you believed in were accepted in the industry, and they created wealth. Not only to myself, but also to the employees, and in the long run, created a lot of jobs, and that was more satisfying fact than just making a few dollars.
Why do you think Brocade succeeded?
Brocade succeeded because of two things. One, it took risk in creating solutions which are disruptive. When I say disruptive,
it took risk, or you took risk, or
I think,
your team.
The team took risk. Team, and when I say company,
yeah.
I mean the people.
But were you willing to take that risk?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
And right from day one, when I left Canada, I was 55 years old, and I had a good job, one of the executive position within Hewlett-Packard Canada. And I just wanted to, I believed in the technology, believed in the solution, I believed in the success factor. Then I decided to take a jump in the water, if you will. And
so Brocade succeeded because you were willing to
take... Yeah, not just me, my co-founder, few of the key engineers, key marketeers, salespeople. Somebody said to be successful, you got to fire on all the 8 engines. 8 cylinders, let me correct myself, 8 cylinders. We fired well on all the 8 cylinders. So my part is one of the cylinders.
So that's why you think Brocade succeeded?
That risk is one thing, and that is to start, but then you have to make sure that you develop the product that really solves user problem, real industry user problem.
And that's the one where you said you crisscrossed the country, and got...
And then the industry had problem in connectivity of both computers and the storage. Industry had problem with transferring data at a very high speed because internet was happening. And the file sizes were getting large and large, a particular video component, not just data and the voice. And it was a perfect storm when we started the company. Second, we took the risk. We came out with the answer which was not taken care of by the conventional answers. We had we had our solution was disruptive to the vendors, not disruptive to the users. So that's the big difference. You can, and also we hired the right people with the right expertise, the right position, and
then you had the courage.
Exactly.
And courage is something that unless you're sitting in the driver's seat, you won't know.
Exactly. My courage came from the fact that I was very confident about the technology, very confident of the market segment, and also very confident of the factor that if the company did not succeed, because of my knowledge, I could always get a job somewhere.
What was the role your family played, especially your wife?
Very, very important role, because she said, you strongly believe in it, you go do it, and I will be with you. She also believed that if this did not succeed for whatever reason, and I was able to get another job.
It's easy to say that in hindsight, but when you're going through that storm, did you have sleepless nights?
No. I didn't have
because you were very clear, right?
Very clear. And see, one thing, there are two things that you have to do. One is worrying, other one is being concerned. And
so you're making a distinction between the two.
Worrying and you got to be concerned but not worry. Worry, you don't solve anything. If you're concerned, you come out with the right answers.
Okay. What advice would you give to entrepreneurs who are over the age of 40? Because here in the Valley, we tend to focus on younger people. But you're great case of somebody who came in the 50s and started a company and, realized your ambition.
Yeah, to start a company, to be passionate about something you believe in, the age is not an issue.
But how do you convince investors to fund your startup?
If you have a very convincing story, convincing the method of solving real problem, you got to have, and also show them that you're associated with the right people. You can't do it alone. You got to have right people, right process, and the timing. If you say that you're coming up with some disruptive thing, and which is going to solve a real user problem, and your timing is right, and you are associated with the right people, then they get convinced.
Have you ever funded somebody who's in their 50s?
I funded a couple of companies whose founders are close to 50.
Okay.
I have.
Okay. So technology is one of the things that you do, and it keeps your interest. But the other two things that seem to keep your interest is giving back, and I think your VKRM, the boutique firm that you have, you say give, educate and share.
Exactly.
So what are you doing? Once you made your money at Brocade, it looks like you focus your attention to Bangalore. In a way, because you founded that school.
That is only that
one
is,
of the things.
And that is part of my the focus. And general focus is to give back. You got to focus. General focus is you got to give back. I would like to give back in the area of education.
Why education?
It's like if somebody is hungry, don't give the person fish. Give him the fishing rod. Teach him how to fish. That same principle. You give the education, then they
give them the tools.
You give them the tool, and that empowers them to succeed in life. You got to educate people not to get degrees, not to get jobs, but you have to educate so that they'll be successful in life. So that's the main thrust of the education.
Okay. So the one thing that you've done is you've established this Indus community of schools in Bangalore, which is based on international standard, and it has kind of changed the landscape of Bangalore in some ways,
Exactly.
which is known as Silicon Valley of India. How did you come up with the idea of establishing a school in Bangalore?
The reason, there are two reasons. One, I am originally from Mysore and Bangalore. That's one reason. Second reason is that has a very good environment in terms of accepting newer types of education because the nature of it being in Silicon Valley, and also people are highly educated. There was
a demand.
They would demand, and they wouldn't mind experimenting with the new ways of learning and teaching. So, when we started first international school, which is called Indus International School in Bangalore, we made sure that we write the right syllabus. We decided to pick IB, International Baccalaureate. The syllabus comes,
which is not the standard in India. I mean, by and large.
By and large, exactly. And then that is, although that is recognized all over the world, there are even in the United States, there are more than 60, 70 schools which follow International Baccalaureate, which comes from Switzerland. So the reason why we selected that syllabus is the way the subjects are taught using that program, IB program, is to give importance to learning as opposed to teaching. That's a big difference. And also on top of that, what we did was we took that as the core of the education as part of the syllabus, and then we built things around that, like building the entrepreneurship program, building the leadership program, and extracurricular activities, and the civics program. Everything we added on top of that, make it holistic.
Okay, so that school is now 10 years old?
It's more, about 10 years
About 10
old.
years.
And it's since last 2 years, it's been rated as #1 international school in India.
Okay, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. And then we started 2 other schools based on the same model, one in Pune, one in Hyderabad. One more is coming in Chennai. So based on the same principles, same format, and same foundation.
Okay.
And another I would like to mention, the reason we want to do that's for profit, But I say that with pride because we need to be business-wise successful in running the company and creating wealth. That wealth we want to flow. We got to keep. Give it back to start in the same campus, Indus Community School. That's we started first of its kind in Bangalore. In the same campus.
And this is for people with little bit of economic disadvantages.
Very economically, and also they had to come from the local villages.
Okay.
In a hawker, for example,
hawker
here, if you want to get the same level of education with all the facilities like sports and debate and everything else, and then plus the level standard of education that's given, it cost around $30,000. But there, you know how much for the community school cost? $150.
$150 for the community school.
But they don't pay. We subsidize that.
Okay.
By the profit.
You're plowing back the money
from the.
So that is in India. Now in the US, you've started a chair at UC Santa Cruz.
That's correct. That's correct.
And that's in storage technology.
Exactly.
And this is to advance.
Storage technology is going through massive amount of the expansion and also innovation right now, because the few years ago, all you heard about disk drives and the tape drive, but that has changed. There's a lot of new technology has evolved, and thanks to some of the universities, including UC Santa Cruz, which has the best storage technology faculty in the country. Actually, not many people know about it. That's why I wanted to start the endowment there under Storage Research Institute. When I say storage research, it's not just the storage devices, hardware devices, but also all the technology that is around it. So now what's happening is more and more.
So it's an ecosystem.
Ecosystem, and also now what is new thing that is happening in the industry, what is known as software-defined storage. And you can take the commodity storage off the shelf and create your own storage fast and secure storage subsystem using the software, that technology. So storage technology,
which is developed by Stanford and Berkeley professors.
No, not Berkeley.
Oh, Stanford?
In the UC Santa Cruz.
Oh, the software is
that is UC Santa Cruz and Carnegie Mellon near Pittsburgh. Those are the main universities in the United States, the best in the storage technology. Not Stanford, not Berkeley.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not saying computer science. If you look at computer science, I'm talking about storage.
Yeah. But you're also doing something with UC Hayward over in the East Bay.
Yes.
And that is interesting because Hayward is usually an overlooked university in some sense.
That's correct. That's the reason why I'm very much interested in helping Cal State. Now it's called East Bay. They don't call it Hayward, they call it East Bay. And what I'm trying to do there to help the university to come out with this infrastructure for STEM education. When I say STEM, it's all in science and technology and the mathematics. And there are three aspects to that. One, to create the courses to teach the students, and then also make sure that you also train the trainers. You also train the teachers to teach the STEM education in the right way, and also create the environment when the students come in to keep them, because a lot of kids from the minority section, they join out of force or whatever, and then afterwards they leave. You don't want that to happen. You want to make sure that they stay, and then plus extend that to the community so that all the schools become the feeders to the university. That's the whole ecosystem they're building. I'm trying to help them.
So ecosystem is a key phrase of yours. Wherever you go, you want to create sustainable.
One element by itself won't succeed. You got to have other elements to create a ecosystem.
So from science, let's switch to arts, and you're supporting the Asian Art Museum. You're a trustee there.
Yes.
What drew you to the Asian art? Because the last time I saw you was at the Tech Museum. You were with the Tech Museum.
No, I'm still with the Tech Museum. See, if you look at even the technology, they call it state of the art. There is a connection between art and science, and I felt that even for myself, I was less exposed to art, and I wanted to get involved more in the area of arts, and also promote Southeast Asian art within not only Bay Area but also within the country at large. And I felt the Asian Art Museum in San Francisco is the best platform to do that. That's why.
That's why it's
that's the reason.
And my last question, we have to wrap it up. My last question is, what do you do for fun?
Fun, you know, I travel, and then also I like 3 kinds of travel, and I like to do all of them thanks to my physical fitness, and I'm blessed in that area. One is adventure. I would like to go to places and like Antarctica and the North Pole. We went to both the places.
Oh, you did?
No, I didn't go to North Pole. I went to the Arctic.
Okay.
And very close to North Pole, and
Okay.
excursion. And then I went to visited Antarctica about 4 years ago. I'm going again this December, which happens to be summer there. And also went to Peru. I did the hiking. And I would like to
Machu Picchu.
Machu Picchu. I did that.
So one is adventure traveling.
And the second one is sightseeing.
Okay.
Go to, for example,
You went to Burma recently.
Burma and Vietnam. That's all sightseeing, knowing the local culture, meeting the local people. That's another thing. Third thing is do nothing. Go there and put your feet up and watch the world go by.
So is that Mexico for you?
Anyway, it doesn't matter, the Caribbean and things like that.
Okay.
Because there is no sightseeing, there is no adventure.
You just
and
have
just relax.
Okay. Yeah. My last question is, what is the gadget you have with you right now?
Cameras, and I take. I got a lot of good lenses. I think I'm one of the few who had a fixed focal length, 600 millimeter lens for my Nikon camera.
I thought you would say phone, but I didn't expect camera.
Camera, and then phone is. I don't feel that it's a toy. It's a necessity. I mean, if I have iPad or something like that, Surface, and that's not a toy anymore. That's a real partner in your business and life.
Okay. We learnt a lot from you today,
Thank
Kumar.
you.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
coming. And thank you for watching. We'll be back again with another show. Until then, goodbye.